Yes, I'm making another one of these fucking things, and well hasn't it? Ugh, I can hear the Claymore rip-off comments now. Oh, you hate the cartoon community, so that automatically makes you a Claymore rip-off. I mean, god, good, that argument is retarded. Anyway, today I am going to be commentating on some kids' review of the Fairly Odd Parents special Timmy's Secret Wish. Spoiler alert, it's really fucking repetitive and a bit hypocritical. How is it hypocritical, I hear you thinking? Well, you're about to find out.
Up. Then delve into this song, which, if I'm gonna be completely honest, unlike the musical special, School's Out, I did not remember this song, and I probably won't remember this song to come. I actually forgot there was a song going into this episode, just watching casually. It seems less like a memorable song, and more like a way to fill up the episode. Let's contrast this song with the song that was put in a normal episode of SpongeBob, Without You, not the one from Gumball, which obviously blows this song out of the park. But going back to SpongeBob, when you listen to that song, you understand exactly what they want you to know. You feel exactly the emotion they wanted you to feel. In fact, the song is so good it doesn't matter if it's them or not.
But this grill is not a home. This is not the stove I know. I would trade it all away if you come back to stay.
Went to other planets, deep inside the earth. Play with superheroes, wish for Cosmo to give birth.
However, with this, I feel absolutely nothing. It's a nothing song. It feels like a nothing song. It aids in hyping up what comes up next.
Okay, so before we move on, I just want to say that this guy takes about this song for exactly 1 minute and 19 seconds. I know, I actually counted. So the fact that he spends nearly a minute and a half just saying the same thing over and over is gonna hurt his points that is to come later on in the episode. Just remember I said this because I'm gonna bring it up later. Also, the whole purpose of the song in this episode is to recap the thousands of wishes Timmy made with his fairies along with the memories with them, whereas the SpongeBob song was meant to be that powerful to show the emotions SpongeBob and Krabs felt. So of course it would have a greater impact. Like, how can you compare these two songs together? They're completely different and serve different purposes. You imbecile.
So pretty much after analyzing a million wishes over the course of about an hour or so, they deemed Timmy to be the worst god kid. You would think if there were fairies going out to kids, there would be a form of quality control. Also, it's kind of hard for me to suspend my disbelief for Timmy being the worst god kid when we actually had an episode that dealt with the Hall of Infamous God Kids. But let's sweep that under the rug. He's going to have a trial which will lead into whether he keeps his fairies or everything he's ever wished for is revoked.
If you can prove to the Fairy Council that you're not a selfish, horrendous, buck-toothed demon in a pink hat, then you can keep your freedom and your fairies. Don't worry, you will have plenty of time to prepare. Oops, wrong again. Wow, I'm 0 for 2 today.
Don't worry, this entire review isn't going to be me pointing out the blatant use of subversion every minute of the episode. Instead, I'm just going to move on. Although the rule of threes is used in comedy a lot, it doesn't make everything funny, automatically anyway. So Cosmo is going to be Timmy's lawyer, which wouldn't be the first time, and Foop will be, I guess, the lawyer of, well, the other side, which isn't really represented by anyone, so I guess he's the opposition. He mentions that he studied law and got a degree, yet knowing this episode, Cosmo is too stupid to get a degree, but again, let's sweep that under the rug.
I was originally gonna skip all the parts where he nitpicks about the smallest shit, but then I realized that then I will only have a small portion of the video left. Like, goddammit, man. Like, I get it, you have to make your video a certain length, but you don't have to make it 16 minutes of saying repetitive shit and nitpicking.
This is comedy, right? A comedy show. Remember that. Anyway.
But if Turner is convicted, then all his wishes will be erased, including that putrid purple pain in my pants.
Now, I'm going to defend the show here. That line could have worked if it was stated much later when it looked like Timmy was doomed. Placing the line here makes Foop look like the dumbest brick aside Cosmo or Mr. Turner, because it makes him look like despite learning law, he doesn't know the concept of an anti-fairy, which is himself. It also makes those who hear it, being Timmy, Wanda, Jorgen, and the others look dumb for not knowing of this themselves. This was not a joke. This was designed to raise the stakes of a plot that was honestly half-hearted to begin with.
Well, no shit. You couldn't tell from the tense music and everyone gasping that it was supposed to be a raise the stakes moment. Also, if it was supposed to be a joke like how you claimed it was, you clearly don't know of the running gag that though Foot may be intelligent for his age, he still has his naive baby moments. Kind of like Stewie Griffin, whenever Foot does something that might seem intelligent, he does something stupid to contrast what he just did, hence why it's funny. But that would only be on the grounds if it was meant to be comedic, which it wasn't. Why is it that every animation critic after Enter believes everything that they say about something? Like instead of critiquing what is actually going on in something, they instead focus on what they think is happening? I don't get it. I really don't.
However, again, like I said in Tough Puppy, it wants me to suspend my disbelief that any of the other characters would go, wait, wouldn't that get rid of you? But going back to Cosmo, you can raise the point that if the Butch Hartman school of and then the opposite happens is so prominent in his shows, then wouldn't that mean that Cosmo is actually a smart lawyer?
No, dumbass. Subversion is only supposed to be used as a joke, not as an actual fucking plot device like how you make it out to be. Good God, these people are so full of themselves that they actually believe what they put down. But fortunately, not everyone is as delusional as this guy.
Well, I applaud your critical thinking. However, there's one thing Hartman loves more than blatant subversion, and that's flanderization of what actually were great characters. Cosmo will always be stupid. Wanda will always be a nag. Timmy will always be selfish. Mr. Turner will always be stupid. Mrs. Turner will be detached from reality. Jorgen will hate Timmy. Poof will be a baby that says poof. Foop will be evil. And Crocker will be crazy and always bring up his mom. And on the rare times that they may break away from this, it's generally for comedy or a very cheap way to freshen things up. There isn't more beyond these characters past season 7. And oh look, this special is after season 7.
Were there anything more to the characters? Sure, they had their moments where they stepped out of their normal personality traits, but that was really all there was to them, even in the earlier seasons. Hell, the show itself made fun of that pretty much all the time.
To prove that I'm not the worst fairy god kid ever!
What? I thought we had to prove you were the worst god kid ever! What am I supposed to do with all this evidence against you?
Hey, get on with the story! Foop finally, after tons of jokes that don't land, shows us that Timmy has made a lot of careless wishes.
Okay, first off, I can say what you just said about the jokes about you, except it being him nitpicking. Like when you dedicated a whole minute and 20 seconds to just a simple song that could have been summed up in a simple sentence. Or all the times you questioned the lore in Fairly Odd Parents. You never question the lore in a kid's show because it's very inconsistent. You as a loser who reviews children's shows should know this. Also, the jokes are in between the segments where the story goes on. You just glossed over that to try and cover for your autistic points. Oh, sorry, is autistic too offensive? Let me try another word. Retarded.
I mean, at a certain point, you tend to wonder, is that 1 hour really worth it? And the answer to that is no. 30 minutes? Maybe you can knock this out of the park. 15 minutes? I would even say it would work really well. The problem with this is that the people who made this did not have enough material to fill an hour, and thus are using very blatant techniques to pad out the time, instead of doing things like a subplot, or a variation in humor, or well, not using a 30-minute idea for an hour-long special. Think about an episode many people find good, like Band Geeks, for example. Band Geeks in its current state works at 11 minutes. Doubling that time to 22 minutes or a 30-minute special, that would cause problems in its current state. It wouldn't make it twice as good. Some stories are best told in a concise manner, and I believe that's one of them. Did we really need the parade? Did we really need the banter of Cosmo in the beginning? Pretty much just for him to fall asleep during what would be one of the major parts of the story? Not really, but they don't have anything else to do at the time, so the team resorts to this padding that honestly isn't worth anyone's time.
Okay, I can agree that the special would be better if it were shorter, that I'll give you, but I see multiple flaws in your statement. First, all those quote-unquote useless scenes. The parade was there to set up on how Timmy's million wishes has done more harm to people than good. The banter with Cosmo was for him to act like an idiot and give football the evidence against him, and for him to inevitably find Timmy's secret wish. Second, you once again compare something completely different from the thing you're critiquing. In this case, Band Geeks was never meant to be a special, it was meant to be a 11-minute long episode, while this was supposed to be a special. Granted, it didn't have to be an hour, but it still had to be longer than your standard cartoon episode. Both episodes have different time lengths for different reasons. Another thing that bothers me about the cartoon community, they always compare something that is completely different from what they're critiquing.
So Poof goes to testify for Timmy, stating that he makes good wishes, exactly how Wanda was testifying, but Foop doesn't rebuttal anything that Poof says because the story wouldn't work that way.
Wait, Wanda was testifying for Timmy? But what did you say earlier in the video?
Now, Timmy's godparents never come into questioning here, because to them, even though they're godparents, they have absolutely no moral responsibility to what is essentially a 10-year-old.
Oh God, you're now contradicting your own statement. How much more retarded can you get?
But we finally get to the main focus of this special. I wonder what that possibly could be. Nearly 18 minutes in, we finally get the big part that this story has been building up to.
I'm saying that Timmy Turner made a secret wish!
A secret wish? But that's the ultimate violation of fairy law!
So Timmy has made a secret wish with Cosmo, then wished for him to forget, which is stupid because Cosmo in this episode doesn't know how to do anything, so it was kind of a blank wish. Cosmo is a worthless character that does absolutely nothing for the plot. And yes, while he's used for comedic purposes, unlike Patrick, like I said in my 2 character clashes between Cosmo and Patrick, he's also there a lot, and he has developed more than a silly comedic relief before. He's had episodes where what he does matter, and has impact, and in this episode it's kind of the opposite. And that's terrible for a character that's been building up for more than half a decade at this point.
Cosmo did do something for the plot. He gave football the evidence against Timmy. And yeah, they dumbed Cosmo down over the years. He's still key to the plot later, and he did in the courtroom scene exactly what you'd expect a bumbling idiot would do.
Timmy Turner, this is an egregious violation of fairy law!
You are truly the worst fairy god kid in history!
What's with that audio quality? When compared to others, they have a crisp and clear voice, whereas with him, he has some notable frequency ranges lacking. It's almost as if he wasn't a part of the recording process. But let's get to the big part.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that is a 30 to 45 second part where he bitches about someone having a different voice than the other Fairy High Council members. Remember when I said where he bitches about this special has a lot of useless scenes? Yeah, he does the same shit here, talking about useless shit in this episode for too long and is very hypocritical of him.
So Timmy wished that everyone would stop aging 50 years ago, which is a pretty big wish, and it's a way to keep his fairies. Never mind that fairies don't age, so if you think after 10 years that if your god kid is still 10, that'd be a giveaway. Plus, since people don't age, all god kids were with their godchildren for 5 times as long as they should have been. But I can move past that, it's a cartoon, and this idea is stupid, and they're clearly moving for stupid. What I cannot refuse and pass is this.
Foop, you do realize that you're Poof's anti-fairy, which means if he goes, you go!
Hey, Jarhead, how long did you know that? And why in the world did Foop not know? An anti-fairy. This is one of the most frustrating parts of this episode. This is something that point blank, if you know anything about the Fairly OddParents, this has been explored numerous times across numerous episodes, and sometimes is the focal point of why certain things are what they are. Are we just to forget that Foop was created because Poof was created? Or that there isn't any other anti-fairy that exists without its counterpart? I seriously cannot suspend my disbelief for stupid. And this is unreasonably stupid and padded out for length. I wouldn't be surprised if they did delay this so they could buy time.
Jesus. First off, if they stop aging, that means time doesn't move as it would if Timmy hadn't made that wish. Meaning that say if the year they were in say 2011 ended, it would just restart. Hence why none of them realize they've been with their god kids 5 times as long. Second, the reason why it's stupid is to tell a joke, which unlike you, I won't repeat myself for twice as long.
It's just, look, I'm not someone who has a moving line of standards. I don't think I'm a harsh critic, but this is not worth 44 minutes. The Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, worth every second. Channel Chasers, worth every second. This, I'm sorry, but no. They didn't build it up to be of great importance, and they spent a lot of time telling jokes that honestly aren't funny.
And you take up a whole lot of time repeating the same goddamn points over and over. If you would have taken your own fucking advice, this video could have been like 5 minutes. Remember way in the beginning of this video where I said that he's a hypocrite? Yeah, this is it right here. Why did he have to bring that up nearly 5 minutes after he was finished talking about the courtroom scene? Anyway, that's where I'm gonna end the video. All in all, it's just your average shitty cartoon community video with a bit of hypocrisy sprinkled in. That's all for this video. See you ripoffs later.